thank you for watching this video. This is going to be an introduction to this finished build and an interview with our clients Harriet and James. They have recently completed a side extension stroke reconfiguration of the rear of the house to create a larger family space for open plan living, as well as the engine of the room, a utility room, a separate toilet, and we've got a load of landscaping outside that we'll show you a bit later. So just want to say thank you to Harriet and James for joining me to talk about their project.
Absolute pleasure.
Cheers guys. It's going to be pain-free, I hope, and stressless. We're going to just talk about what you guys did. Hopefully anyone watching gets a bit advice and maybe a couple of tips you could throw in there about what you do differently maybe. We'll start with from the beginning though. Before you started the work, or even speaking to myself, how long had you thought about the works that you'd like to do?
Yeah, it's been under discussion for a while, especially when we decided that we wanted to grow our family from one child to two child. So we obviously went through, like many couples do, the decision: do we move house, or do we do the extension? So that was something we was toying with for ages. Obviously, it was keeping an eye on the market, but it just after doing all the calculations and looking what was on the market and how much it was going to cost with all the sort of the fees to move these days, stamp duty, solicitors fees, etc. It's still working out the most sort of cost-effective avenue for us to sort of, get a bigger space for our sort of growing family home.
Right. I mean, James said there about the toss-up between moving. Oh, hello. So the toss-up between relocating or actually investing in a property you live with. We get this sort of question all the time: where do we save money? Where do we spend money? So a lot of the time it ain't necessarily about the money. It's about the upheaval. Ultimately, you have the moving costs and stamp duty and all of that, but actually liking where you live is a big thing, in terms of locations, the schools, parks, work the area, walking to shop. So I believe you guys didn't really want to move from here.
Not necessarily, no. I mean, yes, certainly we feel like within a 15-minute walk to the station, the high street, we felt that we got quite a good sort of bargain when we initially bought the house. So yeah, we really sort of envisaged making this sort of our family home and bringing up the kids, and all the local schools are really sort of excellent. So ideally, yeah, we didn't really want to move location, and we knew if we did move to what is considered a better location in Bidderkey, you're gonna be adding a fair amount onto your mortgage.
Or living in a smaller house.
Yeah,
right,
which is clearly what we didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Right then, so we got to the conclusion that actually we like where we live, we just needed to be bigger. So like these guys, yeah, a lot of our clients are families that are growing, they're having their first or second child and don't particularly want to move. So the best place, let's improve, and you guys wanted to extend. So we've now decided, yes, we're going to do it. So what was the process in terms of finding your architect or speaking with myself?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're part of the same business network group together. So I listen to what you say every single Wednesday during your sort of, your pitches, and you presented really well. And I thought, well, I think with an architect, I think it's one of them things you want that line of sort of trust and communication open. And it's handy seeing you every week, so I know where you are effectively if anything was to go wrong. But no, all jokes aside, like it was. We didn't really look at any other architects. I thought we wanted to sort of work with you on the project.
So one of the things that James has missed in there is accountability and credibility. So which is great that James has listened to what I say every week. So it's very important, we believe, that you should make sure that you're engaged with a full qualified architect who's got experience in your field. We should say there's plenty of networks that you should be a part of, but the one that we do, we get the opportunity to present what we do and how we do it to the people in that room, and that's something I portray to James, that I'm here to help him. So you've thought about how long you've been doing this, or wanting to do this for a while. You decided you're going to bite the bullet and get on with it. You've done a bit of research into Malcolm, seems like he knows what he's talking about. And then you've invited me around. What was that like, the first sit down, talk about your ideas? What was that like?
Yeah, no, it was really sort of insightful for us, wasn't it?
Definitely. I found it really exciting because you came in with ideas and you got us more excited about it.
Yeah.
So it can be quite nerve-wracking, I suppose, the idea of spending so much money and ripping your house apart, and where are we going to live and how's it going to look, and is it worth it ultimately?
Absolutely.
But you made it fun. You came and said, you can put your toilet there,
yeah,
you can move this, and I'm going, oh, we need more money.
Because I think when you're considering doing the project, like you both might have ideas how it was going to look, etc. But yeah, and I think you definitely brought a new vision, well, in the end, two visions to the table that we'd not necessarily even thought about, which ultimately, it was quite tough to decide out of the two that you put forward to us. Both had their advantages. But yeah, I mean, over a couple of bottles of red wine, we seem to have made the right decision, hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean...
But what was good is that you stuck to our budget. And I think that's what was important, because we actually had a budget.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any more money.
Yeah.
So it was a case of, here's how much we've got, please help us make the best of what we can do with that money, and you stuck to it.
Absolutely.
Which was a game changer for us.
You know, because I'm sure you've added elements and really gone to town with it, but yeah, you knew we was working to a budget, and I think, you know, we had to be realistic to that, and I think we was ultimately.
Yeah, and you ticked all the boxes within that budget, which I was quite impressed with, really, because, you know, I came in, I said, I want this and I want that, and we managed to get pretty much there or thereabouts.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, our main things was creating a working space for myself, because I'm working from home all the time, having a big open plan sort of kitchen, communal living area. Utility room is really important, and yeah, ultimately, yeah, you managed to sort of juggle all that around, and obviously the idea of moving the toilet to the back of the house, so it's off the dining area, which is always always a plus. Yeah. But yeah, no, ultimately, yeah, really impressed.
Great. So you've mentioned a couple of really good points there in terms of budget and also fears. So we do have a lot of clients that don't understand cost of items, which we try and have to then educate them on the way and make sure that, like you said, they do come in budget. But the most important thing for us when you say about fears, so like everyone, going into something that they don't know, is the fear is, what am I doing? Am I being educated? Am I doing things the right way? Is there any pitfalls? Cost, are we going to go completely out of budget? So we do try to make sure we stay near those budgets. But obviously we don't understand some people's tastes, and they might go and get gold handles, which we can't estimate for. Yeah. But with you guys, it was quite good to work with you in terms of you understood what you needed and allowed us to paint a picture for you, which is part of our process. We want to make sure that everyone goes into this with their eyes open, but also we can then guide them through the correct design process. In terms of guiding you and process, the initial fee proposal and a breakdown that we give you, how did you find that? Was it as insightful as you'd like? Is there anything missing, or did it give you everything you needed to know?
I think, well, I don't know about your opinion, but I think it was completely transparent. Obviously, after our initial meeting, within maybe a week, less than, you come back with a full email stating, you know, timeframes, costs, processes. I think it was all really self-explanatory.
Definitely, and even as a mum and working, and I had lots of questions that you probably repeated 3 or 4 times to me. You still repeated them again.
Yeah, because obviously we looked at it a lot.
What do I owe now? Who do I pay? Where do I go?
And obviously all the technical stuff, it's you know, to a pair of novices, it's all a bit of jargon, but you took the time to sort of come back and answer our questions and explain everything in thorough detail.
Great. It's really nice to hear that. Thank you.
That's all right.
So we'll talk about stage 1. So we've now picked the design. It's gone through to planning. That's done. Was you happy with all of that process? Did it go in terms of time frame? Was you happy that we outlined on that?
Yeah. To be fair, it went to time. You were the bit that went to time.
Yeah, one of the only bits that went to time, to be fair.
Yeah, which is to be expected.
Yeah, of course.
It did, and it was nice to get. Actually, I think it was around Christmas time. Because we were waiting just before Christmas, weren't we? I think we got the good news about a week before. I think you might have texted James saying it's gone through or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
About a week before Christmas.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh God, rein it in.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But no, that got us excited, didn't it, over Christmas. Definitely. And then, you know, to start looking at sort of booking builders in and things like that in January was really positive steps.
Yeah. What a great Christmas present, eh? What I will say is that, one of the best parts of my job is telling our clients that we've got permission. We're now allowed to do it, you know. But after that, it becomes some more difficult work. We go into the building regulation package, which is stage 2. What I will say is that we'll put up some before and after and some plans of what we created, so that you could get to see exactly what the changes were. But moving into stage 2, we've now got a few more moving parts, a few more other people involved, another set of time. So you haven't done a building package or a building regulation or construction site before, but the information that we provided and the explanation, how did you find those when they was delivered to you?
Yeah, I mean, you sent over a couple of recommendations for building control and building regulations, I believe, structural engineers, things like that. And we just went with your recommendations and we were pleased. They came back, we booked them, and we got going. Yeah,
it took all the stress away from our hands, you know, like we haven't necessarily got them contacts in the industry, no. So, you know, having someone there to sort of effectively hold your hand and recommend the right sort of people for the right services, it was invaluable to us. So we didn't have to ring around doing the legwork and sort of trying to get all these people lined up.
And to know that you're paying the right price, because I think that's always the fear in something that you've never done before, is that you go in blind, you say, well, how much is this? and they could give you anything.
Any figure,
and you don't know. Do you know what I mean? So to have someone say, no, that's about right, is, you know, reassuring, essentially.
Well, we try our hardest to put the right intros to the right people at the right time. So you as a client don't get flustered with, oh, what are my next steps? We are here to hold your hand, outline who you need to speak to. So really pleased that we got through that stage. Everyone fell in line. So the building site, the construction phase. So let's say that now we're all done. If there's anything construction phase wise, what would you have done different?
To the build?
Yeah, for the actual build process.
I'd have saved more and gone bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe, but
Not
no. I think when you come round last to visit the site, and you actually mentioned that maybe in hindsight we could have fitted a downstairs shower into the toilet, because that would have had value, because you know that our office is going to double up as a spare room, so that might have been handy. We didn't consider it at the time, and it wasn't on the wish list. But I suppose in hindsight, that might have been a good sort of use of the extra space if we could have fitted one in.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean,
an extra metre out, that's the only thing I'm thinking, but we'd have needed more money for that.
That's...
And again, we don't need any more space. It would have been a nice to have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
What's another metre on a utility room? It's hard to say, isn't it?
And that was, again, working to our budget, wasn't it? So, I mean,
we didn't have any more.
Exactly. So, but no, all in all, there's not a lot we'd change about the final sort of product, if you like.
Brilliant. We must say that time frame was very important because of our special little guest over here. Not only from when we were designing, but then getting permission, Christmas time, getting the right builder on site to start and then to finish. And you guys moved out while the build was taking place.
Absolutely.
And they've already got a little daughter already as well.
Yeah.
And a dog. Don't forget him. He'll making a presence in a minute. But what was really important is we got done and got back in, and was it 6 days?
Skin of our teeth.
6 days.
We had 6 nights here. Well, obviously we had the clean-up operation before we got in. I decorated the place myself, and we managed to get in by the skin of our teeth 6 days before Mabel come along. So feeling quite fortunate about that.
It's very successful. I mean, we've got clients that not necessarily cut it that tight or go past it. So yeah, I'm really happy that she managed to come back to this lovely new home.
Yeah, exactly.
Came straight home.
So a couple more questions and we'll wrap up. So if you've had friends or family about to start the same process, what would be sort of the number one tip that you'd give them?
Get a good architect.
Yeah. I like that one. Can we cut that?
Well, leave yourself plenty of time.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know how long the planning process can take and how long it can be to build in a good builder. Booking a good builder.
It took over a year to get the work started, and that's not. I mean, from you came
exactly.
around 2022.
Exactly. Yeah. So if this is something you're thinking about starting in 6 months, forget.
Yeah.
Because you need to start it earlier. You need to plan ahead, get the right people in place. That'd probably be my number one advice.
Yeah, don't try and do it in a rush, because I feel like we had enough time in the end, but we did feel the pressure because of Mabel, and if we'd have had another couple of months, it would have just been less stressful.
Yeah.
But that's more from a building.
Yeah.
Trying to get it finished point of view rather than anyone's fault, really.
Yeah, so I mean, when we get a client engaged with us, we map out their time frame, stage 1, stage 2, when they would be allowed to build at the very earliest, which is normally about 6 months in terms of that relationship. However, you must take into account finding the right builder, finding the person you want to work with, because they're going to be in your life for about 6 months. Make sure the budget is there, and sometimes even the time of year can affect time frame as well due to weather.
Which it did.
Well, that's what delayed ours probably by about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Because when they started the work in September 23. Yeah, September 23. But this is what I mean, 'cause we met you in November 22. So it took a long time. But September 23 they started. 6 weeks between September and... It was actually meant to finish before Christmas, wasn't it? But we had 6 weeks of rain. So we couldn't get the foundations
It was
down.
atrocious. It was
so worrying, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There we go then. Tips on, make sure you've got enough time, time of year, the right people, and don't expect to get it done quickly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it in a
Okay,
nutshell.
so the last and final question. If you were going to recommend Architecture Hub to someone, what would you say to that question?
Yes.
Definitely.
Would we? Yeah.
Would you? How would you describe us, the sort of process that we gave you? How would you feel about working with us again?
Yeah, definitely. I think what you did do was transformed our living space. And I'm not sure if we'd have gone around and tried all different architects, whether they'd have just gone, okay, well, here's a square, you've got a square, whatever it was, 12 foot by 3 foot, or I can't even remember, 3 metres by 12, or anyway, point being is, instead of just going, there's your add-on, you came in, got to know us, had a look at what we had.
I think that was key, getting to know us, really getting to know our needs with the impending growing family, and the open lines of communication was important for us as well, because as I say, we've never done anything like this before. So you are the first stage of everything. So it's so important that you've got someone that you can sort of A, trust, but B, is knowledgeable enough to know about the whole process before we partake in that journey.
And also about adding value to the property. It's not just about one of the things we said. She wasn't just about, okay, we want to live in this for X amount of time and this is what we need for our family. This is our investment. So it was about how can we make sure that what we're doing is then valuable to the next person that buys this house, to make sure that we're putting the money in the right place, really. And you came back with different ideas that said, well, if you did this is desirable, this adds value, and they're things that we don't know because we're not in the property market, but we are now.
There you go, you are now. So a couple of key points there is obviously return of investment.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be a toss up between how can I make my money go the furthest, and then what do I want to live in? I think what you've done, not only do you get to enjoy that investment, but you know full well that someone at some point when you decide not to be here is going to value what you've done, and therefore that price.
Oh, absolutely! Like it is that. We think the property is so much more desirable now than when you first sort of walked in. Back in November 2022. I
Definitely.
think.
We didn't even want to live here.
Well, exactly. But now we are enjoying the home, enjoying the space.
Yeah.
So then, what's what we last question? Promise. We're how does it make you feel now when you come and walk down and you come in your kitchen? How does it make you feel?
Proud.
Yeah.
Proud to own it, and also before we was hesitant to invite people around to socialise because there was no real sort of given obvious area.
Especially with kids.
The kitchen was sort of small and sort of tucked away, and people were sat in the dining room. A few might be in the lounge, but now everyone comes in. Obviously, you walk into this room, you go, wow, what a lovely space. You've got the huge bifolds letting all the light in. Our garden's sort of landscape now, and you're proud to have people around.
Yeah, it's definitely a party / barbecue scenery right now. So what we'll do, we'll link up the walkthroughs and show you the changes that we've made. But thank you very much for your time. And I've got a little something for you, if that's okay.
Oh, lovely, thank you.
So this one is for you.
Obviously, this is for you, Mabel. This is for you. Thank you very much, Mel. Let's open that up.
And that one is
Oh.
for...
So there was another one.
Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you very much for allowing me to be a part of your home transformation and come around
It's a pleasure.
and see us. She's absolutely beautiful, and your home is also beautiful. I'm really proud how it turned out, and I look forward to you having me around for a barbecue.
That's it.
Well, and thank you from the both of us for creating our dream space.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you guys. Again, this is an interview with one of our clients. If you're interested in developing your home, whether or not it's extensions, conversions, then please get in touch and we can start discussing how we can help. Hello and welcome to one of our project reviews. We're back on site in Billericay. Here we've done a single story rear extension which has created lots of open plan space for the client. It's very important that they got a modern family living arrangement for their growing family. We'll go inside and show how that space has been created and the reconfigurations that we've done. So as you're coming from the rear garden, we've got bifolds all the way across, bringing in lots of light. It's very important that we've got in as much light as possible due to the orientation of the property, but more importantly for inside, we've got a collective space that the family can use all together. Before there was kitchens and dining that weren't quite working, they were quite separated, they didn't allow enough space for visitors or even for their own family growth. So here we've made completely open. On one side you've got dining and family area, and on the other side we've got kitchen. We've got large middle island, lovely finish as you can see. Lots of parties are sure going to be going on here. They now can have their own family grow, but also invite other relatives over for parties and other gatherings. As you can see, been finished to a great standard, lovely gold trim. Behind us, we've got the office. It's not quite been finished yet. Maybe we'll poke our head in, but that's not been quite decorated yet. And then behind that, we've got the utility room and the guest WC. For any growing family, utility room has become essential for making sure the engine of the house and engine of the family can keep going. No one wants to hear the washing machine, dishwasher when you've got guests over. So as you can see, we're really proud of this space. We'll put up the drawings so that you can have a look at what the before and after was, and we hope you enjoyed this review.